evening, Dustin.
Good evening, Huber.
I'm gonna ask you how your weekend was in a second.
Yeah.
I opened the last episode, the Mandalorian and Grogu episode. I just put a quick little bumper on it, and updated everyone on my AC situation, which for 6 days was bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told y'all about any of this or not. But like the first, like the Tuesday, basically like the TV randomly went out, and I was also kind of like, oh, it's kind of hot in the house, and I usually don't even run my AC until the afternoon anyway because I'm cheap.
Yeah, sure.
But my kids were complaining. Kids are home for the summer, so they were complaining. The TV went off. I was like, and I was already up walking to the thermostat, and I was like, okay, hold on, I'll figure it out in a second. It probably just needs to be power cycled, and the thermostat is blank. And I was like, oh, okay, that's weird. And then I just quickly was like, oh, they probably share a circuit. That's weird. The thing probably tripped. And so like I went outside, checked all the breakers. None of them were tripped. So I turned them all off, back on. I did the same thing. The inside panel, turned off every switch in the house, and it didn't change. And I was like, huh, that's weird. And so crash course on air conditioning for everybody, especially in the South. If you got a lot of humidity and your drain pan gets full of water and your drain line is clogged, the drain pan will fill up, and at a certain point it reaches a height where it hits a float switch, which will trigger the thing to turn off as like a safety feature. I was like, okay, cool, it's probably just the float switch. So I called like the people, and they came over Wednesday. So Tuesday night, I was like, okay, we don't have AC, and it's the summer, but it's been rainy and cloudy all week. And so it's milder. And I was like, all right, well, thank God, not a big deal. The house is still pretty cool. And we're about to hit overnight dip down. So Wednesday he came and he checked it out, and he came down and was like, you need a dedicated line run to that thing, and you need this, you need this, and you need this. And he threw a $1,200 estimate at me. Oof. And I was like, okay, that sounds like a lot. And then another $1,200 estimate for a different thing just to bring something else up to code, the drain line up to code, and it's the furnace switch or whatever. And so he left. Sure. And I was like, okay, I'm not paying you $2,400. And so I went up there myself, and I was looking around at, this has become a longer story, I'm so sorry. I went up there myself, and so I called my AC, the guy who installed it, because it's a pretty new unit. Here's what I've been told. I don't think it's true because I'm up here. I remember you telling me there's a switch on this furnace. And he's like, yeah, it's on the back end. Maybe it should be on the front, but it's not like there's no switch. The drain was bone dry, empty. It's not the float switch. I pulled the secondary switch. I didn't know there's a secondary one. I pulled the cap off the secondary one. I looked in the pipe. Pipe's clear. There's not a blockage. So I'd already called another power company and explained it to that guy. And I'd said, it sounds high. I feel like this should cost like $600. And he said, yeah, $600 or $700, not $1,200. So that guy comes over, checks it out, and he's like, you just need the one thing. Anyway, it takes a while. This takes a while to get on the schedule. Friday ends. There's still no, I'm not on their schedule yet. We're going into the weekend. At this point, it's hot in the house. And then I have one kid who has a fever, and there's the house is just, and so Paula brought fans over so we could you get some circulation in the house, but it was kind of miserable. And then Saturday I was at a pool party at someone's house, and she was like, I've got a window unit. Do you want to borrow it? And I was like, yes. And so I got a window unit, and then someone else offered me another window unit. So I put one over there in my living room. This one's still here in my office. And that made a world of difference. Much better. And then the guys showed up yesterday and did the repair. Everything's fine and it works. I was like, sweet. And I was asking, the AC guy came over to actually look at it, just to make sure there's nothing wrong with the unit. And he's like, unit's good. He says, I know that drain line, the main one original to the house, I know that looks smaller than the PVC that's attached to it. But he says, but the PVC is thicker. The diameter of the drain lines is the same. There is no stoppage that's happening from that. He just straight up lied to you to try to get you to And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
And anyway, it was a whole racket, but it was very stressful. I had a couple of nervous breakdowns about it, how stressed out it was making me. Totally. But it worked out. Trust your gut, everybody. Because that guy walked out of my house and I was like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
wow.
Never hurts to ask questions.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah.
Second opinion. Yeah.
Second opinion. So it was hellishly hot in the house. Everyone was pissed off. We're so uncomfortable. And then, another kid got sick and he started having a fever. And I was like, I got to get this fixed. I got to cool this house down. We've got, we got hot, humid, stagnant air in my house. So we're just passing this virus around through the air. I thought I had a bad weekend.
Yeah, sure.
And then I heard about how you were doing. And then I felt bad for complaining.
No, not at all. Yeah, man. My birthday was on Thursday.
Yes.
And, my birthday always falls at a busy time of year for work. And so, like every once in a while I have a year where it's not crazy on my birthday, but most of the time it is. So it was like a 14-hour work day, 14 and a half hour work day, something like that. And I was right at the tail end of it. So within the last 30 minutes, everybody was gone. I had dismissed the crew, dismissed everybody. It was me and a few of the people that worked directly for me that were managing a task for me in the back. And I went out front and was just kind of answering emails and doing the admin stuff. And I was up so we were in an arena and we're setting up the arena for this, it's essentially just like a giant show, it's a concert style show. Yeah. And so as I'm coming down the steps into the arena, I have my phone out, I'm looking at emails, and lo and behold, I hit the last step. And I think what happened, it happened really fast, but I think what happened was as I hit the bottom step, I thought there was another step. So I took a step and my foot was down enough that it would have gone into the next step, but there was no next step. So I just kind of toe planted into the floor and my body kept going with momentum and my foot stayed behind. Oh. And so I think and then it reached a point where, obviously it couldn't go any further. It had already gone further than it should. And then it rolled under itself. Oh. And so I immediately flopped over into one of the arena chairs, at the court side, and just sat there and vision started going black, I was in so much pain that I'm going to pass out. Yeah. I didn't. But I managed to hobble my way over on my tiptoes to further in the seating area so that I was closer to where people would be, just in case I did pass out or anything. Yeah. And then my crew came back, the few that report to me, and I had some people from the venue that were like, hey, do you need something? And it's a WNBA stadium. So they were, on the spot with ice and wheelchair for, they take injured players off the court with. And so I sat in that and iced my ankle forever. And of course, when you do that, everyone's knee-jerk reaction is to take your mind off of it, I guess. And so what they all decide to do at this point is I've got 5 different people telling me stories of times they've broken their ankles. And I'm like, this is not what I need to hear right now, guys. Are you serious? Yeah. And so of course I'm like, all right, then I got to go to ER. If that's what this is. Yeah. And so I look and ankle's swelling like crazy. And can't get the shoe back on. I have no ability to stand or step at all at this point. And so I get in the car, they wheel me out to my car. It's my left foot that's injured. So my right foot, I can still drive. Everything's great. I make it home and tell my wife, I think I'm going to go to ER. She's like, yep. So I go to ER. I got there at, it was probably 10:30. I left at 3 a.m. Yeah. I had to be back at work 6. And so, up at 6. So I get home. It's, a little after 3, get a couple hours rest, equates to maybe an hour and a half of sleep.
Yeah.
Then get
like one REM cycle.
Yeah, exactly. I get my shower as best I can, and then head out the door. And so I go to work, and I knew like I'm not going to be able to. My parents had crutches that they had for decades. They brought them over, and like a long time, and not decades, but a long time. And so they were like wooden crutches
get some new crutches.
Yeah, right. And they had them for years. And so I used those for a little bit. And like that morning, I stopped at Target to get like a sock to go over the splint they put me in.
Yeah.
Just so it didn't look like, super janky when I was at work. So I go get a sock and I like crutch all the way to the back of the super Target. And I'm like, oh my God, the crutches are hard, dude. And so I'm like, this is dumb. I'm not doing this. Like my foot hurts. Now my armpits hurt.
Yeah.
My hands hurt. Like I'm tired.
Yeah.
And like, this is stupid. So I crutch back to the front of the Target, pay for the thing, get out of my car. And I'm like, that's it. So I Google like, who's got a knee scooter? And so I go to Walgreens. They've got a knee scooter. And so I go to Walgreens, it's been $150 to get this knee scooter. And I go out to I get it in so I go to the aisle or whatever. I'm like, okay, there it is. I can't pick it up because I can't, like, I'm on crutches. Like, how am I supposed to handle this heavy box? I'm on crutches.
Can you get some assistance, please?
Yeah. So I finally flagged down this lady who's like stocking drinks, and she was none too pleased with me being like, can you lift this heavy box and take it to the front for me? And so she does, but she's like, what about it? And so I go up there, I pay for it. The lady at the register was nice. She's like, can I put this in a cart for you? I'm like, fine, that'd be great. She puts it in a cart, but it doesn't fit in the cart. So now I'm like, I put my crutches in the cart and I'm like pushing the cart, like hopping, and I get it out to the car and I'm like, I'm gonna go ahead and open it, and I open it up. It's disassembled, of course. I'm like, great. I'm like, well, whatever. I'm not gonna assemble it here. I can't, whatever. So like I schlep it in the car. I put it in the car, and the cart that it's in just starts doing like this. It goes, yep, and takes off down the hill.
Oh no.
And I'm like, well, that's gone. Like I can't chase after that.
If this had been a Seinfeld episode, there'd have been a passerby like, "Hey, that guy didn't put his card away."
Yeah, literally. and it hits the car as it goes, and I'm like, "Sorry, I can't do anything." And so like I can't even get over there to it. So
it'd be like George's ex-girlfriend or someone they know. Like,
yeah, it would be somebody they know, yeah. And like yeah, and then it would be Jerry's girlfriend, and then she would see George, and she'd be like, "Hey, you're the cart letter goer."
That's the
whatever.
cart guy, yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's back with some old boyfriend that Jerry didn't think she was back with. Like, yeah. I knew it. I knew she was going out with him.
That's right. But yeah, man, and like, so
we can't help but write television when we talk.
That's right. But it is a whole thing. The next day was like a 13-hour day. Worked it. The next day was, like a 10-hour day. I worked it. And then I came back home. My house has stairs going up to the bedroom and down to the movie room, which is where I normally film. And so I've just kind of been camping out on the main level and staying down here and sleeping on the couch and, being like, all on one level. And it's been fine, whatever. But I was like, I'm definitely taking Monday and Tuesday off. Like I worked so much last week. I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, I'm going to take more. Like it just sucks to like have to like crutch around or wheel around at work. Yeah. So I'm like, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take the time.
If there's ever a time to do that, it's now. Like right. I'm clearly injured.
And plus, like everyone's like, stay off of it, put no weight on it. And I'm like, well, then the best way to do that is to not do things that would require it.
Yeah.
And so like, I'm already like my wife's doing so much to just keep everything going.
Yeah.
Like caring for, our 4-year-old, and then also like doing all the things that I can't do. Like, it's difficult even to like get something out of the pantry or whatever, so like a wheelchair can't fit in the pantry. So I'm like, how can I get close enough to go to it's a whole thing. And so like, I know it's a lot out of her and, whatever, but I'm like, I really need to get better as quick as possible. So the least amount of resistance I can put on this thing right now is best. And then I have a follow-up appointment in a couple days on Friday with the doctor. And I didn't even say, like, when I went to the ER, they did an X-ray, no breaks. It's great, but it's very possible that I tore my Achilles. So that's where we're going next, is to figure out the damage that's actually been done to the tendons. And my hope is that I just like overextended everything like crazy, and it's just going to take a couple of weeks to like heal on its own, and not something where it needs surgery or whatever. So that's where we'll find out on Friday what that is, and I can give you all an update if you're so inclined. But yeah, man, it's been rough, and like you very quickly realize, like everyone says this, so it's tried at this point, but like you realize how unfriendly the world is to those who are differently abled. Yeah, very quickly. Yep. And like, oh right, like even at work, we had put down. We're running like tons of feeder cable and stuff, and like we put down cable ramps over it. Yeah. But it's like those suck when you're going over them.
Those are narrow
like,
too.
Yeah, it's like they help, but not really. Yeah. Like they help you not trip. They don't help you roll over it with something. Even in the arena, there's one elevator. So like you're working on the other side of the building, you got to go all the way over, all the way up, and then all the way back. And it's just like, it slows everything down.
My hotel in Gatlinburg was like that. There was one elevator at the far end of the building. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what's at the other end of this? And it's just nothing. It's just a wall. Not even a window. Nothing. There could have been a sign that said, hey, there's big letters. There's no elevator down here.
Don't go over here.
Don't waste your time.
That's right. Yep. So anyway, man, it is what it is. But
what if there's a fire?
What if there's a fire?
Yeah. You take for granted all the stuff you usually get to do.
Well, and it really makes you like think like, how much do I actually want this thing? Like, because like the idea of the other day. So the other day is in the evening, I was about ready to go to bed, and I've been super tired too, because your body extends its energy to heal. Mm-hmm. To heal itself. Yeah. And so you end up a little bit fatigued, and like, so I'm, whatever. And like, it's late at night, I'm ready to go to bed. And I was like, oh crap, I didn't put any drinks in the fridge for tomorrow. So like I go out to the garage, and I was like, I just don't even feel like it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's too much of a hassle. Like normally it'd take 20 seconds, but I did it. And so I did that, and then I went around the living room and like turned off lamps. Yeah. And it took me like 12 minutes to do those two things. Yeah. And I'm like, that's so crazy. Like the things that, it would take less than a minute. Yeah. Normally. It was crazy.
Yeah. I think about like, how like they'll make kids like do those they'll like make kids put on like those suits or those like whatever those attachables like in elementary schools so they understand what being old feels like. Yes. Like putting rocks in their shoes and stuff. And right. And it's just like there's as you get older, you really want to simplify your wants and needs, both because it's just wisdom to detach from things. Also because you're not really gonna have a choice. You're gonna have problems with mobility at some point, and you gotta ask yourself, do I want to do this? And if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna take my time, and because that's 100%. Just where it's gonna be.
Well, and this is the main thing is like I really want to and need to restore mobility back to 100%. So I'm going to do whatever I need to do now to make sure that that's going to happen. Because what I don't want to do, tendons that are weak, so they've never healed properly or whatever, and 5 years down the road, this happens again and it's way worse or whatever. Like I've got to, be diligent about whatever it is that the treatment plan is. So on Friday, when they're like, hey, you need to do this, like, I'm going to do it. Like, I don't care what it is. I'm going to do it. Got to do it. I'm going to be back, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things. And like, my son wants to play and like wrestle. And I'm like, watch out. And he's been great, but like he needs that kind of like, run and play time and wants it with me. And I'm like, well, I can't do it right now, but give me some time. And like, so that's the other thing is like, I've got to get back to 100 on this.
Yeah. Well, glad it wasn't worse. I remember when we were in college and I saw that kid break his foot.
On the skateboard. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think about that still. often.
Yeah, that guy's haunted.
That
to this
traumatized
day.
me a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So when you told us the story,
bone was sticking out. Yeah,
yeah, it was a compound fracture. He just landed on his foot. His foot went sideways, and his leg bone just came out of his skin.
Yep.
And I watched him like in shock, and then realized. Yes. Like look at his body, and I was on the phone with my mom, and I just stopped talking. I was like,
oh my god,
I gotta go. When you told us the story, the first thing I thought of was that kid. I thought of you, like in my story, you were skateboarding down the stairs.
Yes,
because that's the best my brain could do.
I was Legolasing down those steps.
Yeah, you hit the ground, popped.
Yeah. Yeah, these things are always listening because
what did your algorithm give you after
literally
it heard you
like
injured?
Every video of like sprained ankles and like there's like some video of a dude that like tried to jump over the bed of a truck like side to side and his foot got caught in the truck and so his whole leg like
oh no
and I'm like God, why are you showing me this?
Oh man. That's rough.
It makes me feel better, but also worse.
At least I'm not that guy, but could have gone without seeing that.
Yeah, I'm like, that's separation at the hip. Dude, I don't know what you do in that. Like, I know that like your Achilles is at least one of, if not the strongest tendon in the body. Mm-hmm. But dude, forget about it.
Yeah, you mentioned the Achilles. It's a bummer we're not introing the Odyssey.
Odyssey, yeah.
That would have been cool. Soon,
that
everyone.
Been great.
Soon. Next month.
Yeah, soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully you won't still be injured, and we'll just.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just about to like book a vacation, and I'm like, well, now I feel like I have to wait.
Yeah.
Like, what's the time frame here? Because I certainly don't want to like not be able to enjoy anything if we go on vacation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, yeah, it's not the Odyssey episode. This is, however, the Man on the Run episode.
Man on the Run.
Yeah, that's what tickled me.
Which I cannot do.
Yeah. Paul McCartney will do it for you, Dustin.
That's right.
Please enjoy Man on the Run. Also, I know you're wearing a real hat, Dustin, but the way that Zoom is capturing, it looks like a virtual hat.
A virtual hat?
It looks like halfway through your story, I got distracted because your brim looks like it's not really there. It looks like it's not real.
It's virtual.
Look at the way it's lit. It doesn't even match. It's weird.
Yeah.
And like there's
the lighting's right above me.
But it's just like I was staring at him like his hat is real. Is he wearing a brimless hat?
You know what it is? Why is it so bright right here and so dark right here? Is that an optical illusion? This should be the same color.
Yeah.
Like it's the same wall.
The
like
wall
I'm touching
is white.
The wall. No, the wall's gray.
Oh.
But then it turns
it's
white.
Pulling the white from your hat.
Which is...
And it's assuming... that's weird.
But you can see the hat. There's a gap there.
Wow.
There's a 2-finger gap.
I don't like... Whoa.
Maybe the light's reflecting off the white and lighting up back here. But
that's
my hand's
weird.
not that much lighter.
No, and your hand is keying perfectly.
That's so strange, dude.
Hey, if you're listening right now, we do have a YouTube channel where you can look at all this.
This is true.
It's like, God damn it.
What's happening?
Shut up.
I can't see it. Hold on. Let's if I unblur it. Look, whoa, hold on. Wait. Why does that look so much lighter? Hold on. It's the same color. It's one fabric. What's happening? Look at that. Why is it doing that? Look, what's happening?
It shouldn't be happening.
There's no filter on it at all right now.
Wait, when you lean to your left, it stops. See how it's normal now? Kind of?
Yeah.
But it's having a hard time when it gets to the flat wall for some reason.
So
weird. It can
weird.
handle texture, but not flat.
That's so weird. Yeah, look, video filters. Do I have any filters on at all? No, nothing.
Virtual hat brim.
Virtual brim. No, I have nothing. Weird.
Like it looks.
I have eyebrows now.
It looks like
Groucho Marx over here. Make them real dark. Eugene Levy.
I don't like it.
Hey, everybody. These are my eyebrows. These are my new eyebrows.
Oh, I don't like it.
I'm gonna make them blue.
Why?
Why not?
Are you raising them independently? Yeah, do like the people's eyebrow.
It won't let me.
It's kind of trying.
Hold on.
You gotta move your hat. Yeah.
It doesn't even look like me, dude.
You look like a whole different person.
Hey, stop. I
don't like this. Where is this?
No, I'll make them a little lighter so they blend a little bit better. Like,
that's a little better. Yeah.
My real eyebrows are like really light. Like,
that's a little better. It's unsettling.
I need the really thick guys. Hey, what's going on?
The hairy guys, the caterpillars.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got a whole color
with your eyebrows and your hair. You got a whole Super Saiyan 3 thing going on. Ooh, no.
Hey, looks like I just
look like you're freezing to death now.
Popsicle.
You're like,
now it's green. Ectoplasm. Who are you gonna call?
All right, I don't like this
so
at all.
Dumb.
I don't like it at all. Okay. Please enjoy Man on the Run, everybody.
Enjoy the audio platform, everyone.
All right. Let's get straight on into Paul McCartney, Man on the Run. This has been on the docket. We keep having to push it. And then I have been surrounded by nothing but reminders of it in my day-to-day life.
Oh, sure.
I was catching up on Saturday Night Live and Paul McCartney was the musical guest for the finale.
Yep.
And then the week before that, I was at my daughter's band concert. At some point, they're like, okay, we're gonna have four the ninth graders come out and they're gonna do Blackbird.
Oh, and, interesting. Okay.
And my dad was like, all right. Oh, he was like, woo.
Yeah. Hey.
And they came out with an acoustic guitar and everything. It was
nice.
I kind of if I'm gonna nitpick, I kind of expected some harmony of some kind.
No.
You know, 4 people singing the melody of the song. I think just the one girl who was playing the guitar probably could have.
Yeah, sure.
Could have handled that, but they did a good job.
Okay.
Nice and gentle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Blackbird was one of the first songs I learned on guitar. Special place.
It seems difficult.
It's not easy. But yeah, it's fun though. It makes you seem like you're better at guitar immediately than you are.
It seems hard.
Just buckle down and then you're like, hey, look at me, look at this. And everyone's like, oh, he plays guitar. Wow. And you're like, well, play us another song. And you're like, I don't have any more songs.
Sorry, folks. Just one and done.
Tapped out.
The Beatles have been my whole life, really. When we split up, I thought, I'll never write another note of music ever. I had fear of being a grown-up. I felt very depressed, but I was very lucky because I had Linda.
Whoa, beautiful.
I said, if I form a new band, do you want to be in it? And she kind of, yeah. Okay, well, we got 2 members. We started Wings from square one.
This Paul McCartney of Wings.
It was about trying to do something different.
What am I doing? Singing with Paul McCartney.
When did you first discover Linda could sing?
On the wedding night.
Wings was a dud when it first came out.
If anybody bad-mouthed us.
I was thinking, I'm going to make the best record you've ever heard.
Say live and let die.
People thought we were totally crazy, but that was our way.
And the word spread that this was a good show.
Paul McCartney away! Well, it wasn't bad.
Me and John, we were just growing apart, really. And now we're off on another journey. We'd had arguments and all of that, but we'd loved each other all our lives. When we started Wings, it's about freedom. We felt we'd finally arrived.
Yes! See you next time!
Second time round.
Man on the Run is a documentary film from 2025, directed by Morgan Neville, who is, he's a documentary filmmaker. You've probably seen some of his other work.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, but obviously the film is centered around Paul McCartney post Beatles. So there's a lot of Beatles stuff in here, of the
the breaking up of the band and what happens like legally and paperwork wise and all of that, because it's never as simple as just being like, the Beatles are done, we're moving on. It's like, okay, there's tons of like legally binding contracts that tie these four men together.
Intellectual property and
and they were so big, it's like no one's gonna let that go. So honestly, like Men on the Run, like for a Paul McCartney super fan like me, didn't really necessarily teach me anything new about Paul, but there's some new interviews and some footage obviously that we haven't seen before, and those are always interesting because even if you're not learning new things, you're kind of like immersed in the world that you've always read about or heard about, and so being able to like see it and hear it is cool. And so it holds your attention for that reason. Obviously there's lots of good music. And it showcases Paul in a way that is like obviously favorable, but there's some stuff in here where it's like, oh, we're going to be a little more candid about this. Like, oh, this didn't work, or I tried this and it didn't take, or, you know, little things like that, or, you know, drug arrests and that sort of thing that you don't really hear about a lot with Paul. Like at least for me, like I'm sure back in the day they were, you know, headline news, but like it's just kind of been swept under the rug. And so bringing all of that back up is kind of interesting that Paul, who you would think if anybody is cultivating an image now and a legacy, it would be him, and he would want to sweep away any of the things that didn't work. But it's actually it's actually a pretty fair documentary that shows how difficult it was to be Paul McCartney post the Beatles, and all the self-doubt that came with that. Like, again, you would think, okay, after the Beatles, biggest band in the world, you can do anything, right? On top of the world. But it really shows how alone he felt, and also how how self-conscious he was to put himself out there as himself alone. And so eventually you end up with Wings forming, and which is a little bit like a super group. It's Paul and a bunch of his friends, and you know, they're having a good time and doing their thing, but it never really was a band like the Beatles, you know, where every member was a household name and every song was a hit, and it was just kind of like, you know, Paul doing his thing, but also Paul really trying hard to keep it all together. And so just the general like vibe of the film is like, after you're part of the biggest thing in the world, it's really hard to do anything else. And like, that sounds obvious, but also the other side could be completely true, which is after you do the biggest thing in the world, you can do anything, and you don't have to like think about how you're going to be perceived anymore. You've proven yourself. But the truth is, put yourself out there under your name after the Beatles, you have to prove yourself all over again, because all anyone's going to be doing is comparing you to what came before. And not only what came before, but they're going to be comparing your album with John's, and they're going to be comparing John's album with George's album, with Ringo's album. And so as they all continue to put out records, they're all still tied together in that, like, John goes on a talk show and gets asked, what did you think about Paul's latest album? When Paul goes on a talk show, hey, any chance the Beatles are getting back together? It never stops. And so the toll that I guess that takes, I had always heard of, but it's interesting and, you know, kind of cool to just like see it with my eyes. And obviously, like, this it doesn't cover all of it. It goes into like the 80s, but just barely. There's a little bit of coverage of like, you know, John's death and that sort of thing, but it doesn't carry, you know, too much further after that. It's a cool documentary. It's fun. It's, you know, like I said, it seems fair and balanced. It's not like just a puff piece about how great Paul is. It really showcases the struggle. I don't know. It's a lot of fun. And I do recommend it. It's on Amazon Prime. If you're a Beatles fan, check it out. If you're not a Beatles fan, I think, you know, you're just looking for like a cool doc to unwind with. This is a cool rock and roll doc that you can't go wrong with. There's a lot of cool, celebrity interviews here, whether we're talking like obviously the four Beatles or, the Stones or some of the children of the Beatles and a ton of other musicians. It really covers a cool period in Paul's journey. And while ultimately I think that what came after Wings is probably Paul's better material, I think that this is still a really good portrait of like what that era was for him. And so, really with Paul, you've got the Beatles era, you've got the era that's like between Beatles and Wings, and then everything post Wings. And like here we're seeing that those two eras of post Beatles and Wings. It's really cool. So if you have some time to kill, it's not super long. It's like, maybe 2 hours, like right under 2 hours. And it flies by. It's really cool.
Morgan Neville directed Roadrunner, the Anthony Bourdain documentary. And then also Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Oh yeah, which is a great doc.
Yeah. I was going to ask, like, is this one is Paul involved as a producer or anything?
He was very like involved in the like publicity of the film and in the press. So I'm assuming he had more of a creative hand in this, which, again, is where it can start to feel biased. But I don't feel like that's the case here.
Yeah, we talked about that at some point in either the Roadrunner episode or something. I think maybe the Harry and Meghan documentary. We did like a whole symposium on it. On that, I remember we talked about like 3 different documentaries, and the topic du jour really of documentaries these days is all right. Well, how much is the subject controlling perception?
Yeah.
It's like we get, it sells because the general audience is like, oh my God, like unprecedented access to this person. And they're not thinking that much about, well, what is that? What's the value of what I'm getting really? I think it really entered that wave crested with the Val Kilmer documentary.
Yeah.
But like Paul, I mean, like, I don't really ever get that vibe from that guy that he like is super precious about his image.
Yeah, I don't either. Like I genuinely, like, I've seen a bunch of interviews with him where he's like, he doesn't want to be seen that way. It's really important to him to just be a normal dude.
Yeah.
And like, obviously he's a billionaire or whatever. And like, he's never going to be normal. He's never been normal.
Right.
Like, dude was a Beatle when he was
go to a baseball
19.
game.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not doing anything normal.
No, sorry.
Dude goes to a baseball game with Lorne Michaels and Jack Nicholson. Like, you're not normal.
You better get a press box, buddy, because
you're not
going to be able to piss.
You're not going to be able to do anything. I saw an interview with him recently where he was talking about like his policy is he doesn't take photos with people.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked why, like, why would you not do that? And he's like, because it makes me feel like a toy monkey where like people just like take a photo with me and I'm like a thing.
You're a prop.
They get, I'm like it's like I'm the Statue of Liberty, right? Like you're just a thing. And so he's like, I welcome, like meeting people and talking to people, but like as a person, not as a thing. Like I'm not a Beatle and you didn't just meet a Beatle. You just met me. And like, I don't know. There's a certain charm to that. And all through this doc, it very much seems like that was something as early as, 1970 when the Beatles broke up. He immediately moved to like the countryside and had like a little farm and like just completely detached from all of the things. Whereas the other Beatles were doing other things. Still in the limelight, John and Yoko are out like doing their like weird
performance art.
Yeah, their weird performance art. Like they're in bed and in the window or whatever for peace or whatever, and like they're doing like
protest activism and
activism, but also just like I don't know, we're gonna be naked on this album cover. I don't care. Why not? And like Paul's just like, I'm just gonna go to the countryside and like chill with Linda, and we're gonna smoke weed and we're gonna just chill for a while. And like that's what they did. And man,
maybe this is like a no brainer, but it's just like that's like it seems like a very stark difference of like the Beatles break up, and then it's like John seems to have sort of wanted to be a celebrity.
Yeah.
Or had been comfortable with it at least.
Yeah.
And everyone else kind of not as quickly or as deliberately, or maybe just popularity did that. Maybe because he's fucking John Lennon, like he's going to get the most attention. If Paul's going to be a recluse, okay, we like George and Ringo, but like John's the star. Like what's John Lennon up to? Yeah. And it's like a machine that feeds itself. And, I don't want to like say that Ringo didn't want to be famous or anything, but
sure.
But it's just interesting.
It is. So, John was at least, whether he wanted to be a celebrity or like liked the limelight, I don't know. Yeah. But he certainly seemed to be okay with using what celebrity he had to further messaging that he thought was important.
Yeah, true. It's just like, well, maybe he didn't want to, but he's like, well, unfortunately, I am John Lennon. So
yeah, and I have to.
Reporters are going to talk to me wherever I go anyway. Right. So I may as well talk about Vietnam and
and Yoko was already a performance artist and already, a political activist. And so, the two of them getting together, of course, he just sort of adopts that mentality.
Considering how short of a time in the grand scheme of history that the Beatles were together.
Yeah. 7 years of albums.
Yeah, to be known for it's like people coming up to me or you and being like, remember when you were at SCAD?
Yeah.
It's like when I'm 80 and it's like, yes, I did spend a brief time in college.
Yeah,
many decades ago.
Yeah, I was there for 4 years.
After that, I had children and a family.
Yep. That's right. I've done a lot of things. Yeah.
All this other shit that's also meaningful to me.
Yes.
Like, but college.
But the Beatles, though.
Yeah, but the Beatles.
Yeah, and it's like, well, the Beatles did change the world, and like, it was 7 years. I mean, they were together a little longer than that, but from first album to last was 7 years, and I can't think of anybody else who changed like pop culture as much as the Beatles did in 7 years. And to still be relevant at all in any way is crazy. But yeah, I definitely think it has to be at least in part due to a reluctance to like feed the machine. And like, I guess they all four had they were grandfathered into the machine, if that makes sense. They didn't have to play the game. And like they tried. And like if you ever watch those old interviews where like the Beatles first come to America, the press is still very similar now as it was then, where they're trying these gotcha questions and trying to just get a headline from them. And the Beatles are not having it. And like in their own like British sardonic, humorous way, they're turning questions on them and whatever. And like from the get-go, they didn't want to play that game. Yeah. And so I think, at least in part, the reason there's been any longevity is because they've refused to play the game and they remain elusive. It's even like Paul saying, I don't take photos. Ringo saying, like, I don't do autographs, like, period. It's like they're elusive. Like, sure, you might run into them, but they're not going to give you what you want. And you go to a press junket with them, they're not going to give you what you want. Like we've talked before about how the disappearance of like the Hollywood star has happened over the past few years. And I think we've postulated before that could be because of social media. That everybody has such a access to all of these celebrities at all times that we like know them personally. So the mystique of like, ooh, they're playing whatever in this new movie is like gone because we just know who they are personally.
Yeah.
And like the Beatles have always maintained some level of like distance. And so obviously, John and George passed before social media caught up, but like, even now, like Paul and Ringo don't play the game.
If there was like one of those, like if he was on 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
And they're walking through his house. And then he shows them like his favorite book.
Yeah.
People would be like, oh shit, I didn't know Paul McCartney liked whatever. Such and such or some obscure author. Whereas if Paul McCartney, if he'd come up as a modern day celebrity on the internet, he'd be like looking straight at the camera and being like, and of course everyone knows I like it. It's almost like, yeah, everyone knows because we already have all this access to you. And there is something cooler about like, discovery or mystery
Yeah,
way.
totally.
And I wonder if it's like a British thing. Like maybe just because we imagine that they just like abscond back to the UK when they want privacy.
Yeah.
And since we're not there, we're like, what are they doing?
Ooh, what are they doing over there?
Yeah, something analog, probably, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, maybe. I don't know.
Sure, maybe not.
Stop thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not your business.
Yep. Like I've seen interviews with him where, you know, he'll take you like through his house. Like, this is a piano that I, you know, whatever. Like, I love this piano. Whatever. It's like, cool. But it's all kind of related to music. And then even like recently, because he's got new music coming out and stuff. People have been trying to get him to comment on like, you know, political things here in America. and like everyone knows, like, I don't think Paul's a US citizen. I maybe I'm wrong, but like, I don't know that he votes in US, you know, elections.
Right.
But all that said, it seems a little bit like we're trying to get you to play the game. And what Paul did like recently was that, you know, they were trying to get him to I forget what the question was, but it was, you know, very clearly like baiting him to try to like say something, you know, political. And he goes like, we just want to get like a headline out of it. And Paul was just like, you know, hey, you know what I do is I play music and literally he's like, and while I'm playing music, he's like, you know, in America, it seems like the right and the left, there's such a huge divide. But when I sing Hey Jude, there's not.
Right.
And then like the questioner was just like, okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. And
Did
so
I
it's
answer
just like
your stupid fucking question adequately?
Yeah. It's like I guarantee you we know which way Paul would vote, but he's not going to play the game. Like, I'm just not going to give you what you want from me.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, that's the way the Beatles were. I know what you're asking. I'm not going to give it to you.
Yeah.
I forget what the quote was. You know, one of our listeners could probably like fact check me. One of the three of you out there. But there was like a famous quote back in the days of the Beatles where somebody goes, one of the press goes, hey, my question's for John Lennon. Hey, John, it seems like all of your songs are about liberals and lesbians or something. And he's like, can you tell us what your songs are really about? And John just goes, liberals and lesbians.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, okay. Like he's not even
like writing it down through. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Like he's like, I'm not gonna play this. Like this is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you want from me? And like the one time John says anything, it's like the Beatles are bigger than Jesus. Then everyone throws albums in fires.
Yeah.
He's like, this is why I don't.
Can you imagine
do
that conversation like in their office? It's like their publicist, like, what the fuck, John?
Yeah.
Okay. It's on Amazon then.
It's on Prime.
All righty. All right, Morgan Neville. You're still
Get yourself free 2-day delivery and a nice dock.
Yes. Oh boy, I got complaints about Amazon lately though. No, wait, that was Walmart. No, this was Amazon. Well,
okay.
Doesn't matter. No one wants to hear that. Okay.
I kind of do.
It was just, I ordered a book and it finally comes and I open the cardboard envelope because I'm like, oh, I guess this is like a small book. I open the thing, it's like sealed and everything. I open it, it's fucking empty. I felt like I was in a heist movie. I was like, how do they get in? How do they break in?
Yeah.
And so I go like, I'm like looking around, like, so I start walking around my yard like an idiot. Like maybe it fell out of the sealed envelope. And like, of course it's not my mailbox. It's not my yard. And I was like, incredulous, like, it didn't just grow legs and walk away. You know, it's like, where is it?
Yeah.
And I finally like get online, I get on the computer and I go and I'm like, okay, I'm looking for like is there a problem with this order? And I was like, yeah,
it didn't.
And I'm looking through like the options and it's like, what is it? Is it still not there? Or is it, it's everything except for empty package. And I was like, so I just finally sort of go like, hey, it's missing or like, it's not here. And it's like, or lost or damaged or something.
Yeah.
And so I go and I'm like, it's like, okay, do you want to like, order a replacement? I'm like, yeah, I do. And it's like, cool, just mail us back the original item. And I was like, no. I
don't have the original.
No, I don't have it. There isn't one.
Yeah.
And there wasn't a way to break through. And so like on a lark, I was like, I'm going on the app. And so I go in the Amazon app and I do like the same like little options, and then like I hit like lost or damaged, and then like the Rufus, like the AI pops up, and it's like, hey bud, what's up? And I was like, yeah, the order didn't come, or like, and it's like which of these happened? And one of them was empty box, and so I hit it. I was like, oh man, your box was empty, bud. And I was like, yeah, it was. It's like, oh, I'm sorry about that, bud. You want us to send you a new one? I was like,
yeah, that'd be great. Rufus.
Yeah, and it's like, cool. Here's your confirmation number. And I was like,
sweet,
son of a bitch.
Yeah, how dare you, Rufus?
Like, it's that easy.
Yeah,
I was just
right.
like, does this thing only exist on the mobile app? But like, I almost gave up. Like, and the only reason I didn't, because it's like, do you want us to refund you? I'm like, I paid with a gift card. Like, I don't care. Like, I don't want a refund. Like, I want this fucking book.
I want the item I ordered.
The book is called Zen, the Art of Archery.
Oh,
and I'm not feeling very zen right now. Trying to get hold of this. I felt it was just so ironic. I was just getting irate. Like, where's this book?
Yes.
So it's coming. Oh, it was supposed to come Sunday, and then it was like, it'll be here at 8 p.m. And then like at 7 p.m. it sends me a thing. It's like, it's going to be here in 12 more days. And I was like, where is this book?
Oh my gosh.
Where's it coming from?
The author's vigorously writing it right now.
It's
oh my God, I got an order. I have to finish
it's held up in the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyways.
I need the really thick guys. Hey, what's going on?